All right, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Korean Weekly number 8. The Korean Starleague Weekly number 8. I'm Nathanias, joined by the one and only KD.
Hi, babies. How you living?
And we've got a fantastic grand final for you. A lot of great games today, but only one can be the champion. In the bottom right, we have the blue Terran player representing Shopify Rebellion. He is Byun.
And in the upper left corner, we have the biggest, the greatest, the most importantest, Maru.
Representing Onside. I don't know too much about Onside gaming. I think that's a more of a recent pickup before this season of GSL for Maru. But how can I learn to like pro TvT more? Asks Miner. A great question. Great question. So let me give you, I guess, a little bit of a big picture view. I don't speak Korean, so I'm not going to guess what they're saying to one another. But TvT, like at the pro level, I find the interesting things to keep my eyes on, upgrades. I really love seeing when players are able to find ways to like carve out these awkward situations where you either are targeting upgrades by destroying them for your opponent or rushing them for yourself. Battlecruiser rush. I just had to say that. That's not really related to my speech right now, but I think I'm just contractually obligated to get that in there. They're talking a lot and it's distracting me. They're going at it, Kate. They're full on. I think they're writing Shakespeare or something.
They're writing love letters to each other. They're big fans. They want to be friends, but you know this.
They want to be friends, but everybody sees them as enemies. When they hang out together in public, people are like, "Whoa!"
They
so
have to put on a
off-brand.
certain persona, you know.
Yeah.
It's just like Coca-Cola and Pepsi.
Yeah, those guys would actually just go and be untranslatable banter mad. So we got
Shout out to Maddox.
sounds like they're just trolling each other. So Byun, wait, so it's the build, right? It's the build. They're doing the build again, except it's TvT now, where it makes sense. The Double Reaper, Hellion. This is very popular right now, very popular. And Maru, well, he's not doing that build this game. He's still talking though.
They're talking about something that's really important to them because who cares about
I used to be able to read Korean, but I can't anymore. I don't know.
I'm a fluent American Sign Language translator, and I you know that's
yeah,
the
Katie, you're like certified ASL,
yeah, I'm literally
right?
licensed, but yeah, I can't no.
You don't know Korean.
No, I can't. I'm
unfortunate.
sorry, honey.
Do you know Korean Sign Language?
Wait, that guy has like a snowmobile?
Yeah. So this is like the iPhone skin for the Hellion. Just looks really fancy. Byun's build gives him a little bit more oomph in this early game, so Maru's forced to pull SCVs early to fight against this, but he's got a tank, so it's not really like a huge threat to him. If he puts the tank too far away from his main, then the Reapers might go up here, and then there's like nothing to really defend that. So that's kind of what he has to keep his eye on, because it's unlikely that if Byun sees the tank is still here, he's probably going to go for it. So Maru actually loads all of it up for a drop, and they're still talking to each other while microing a fight versus each other, which is something that probably only Maru and Byun could do at this level. So it's like I'm witnessing two wild gazelle playing like a pickup game of basketball. It's like I didn't know this even happened.
Like they're typing really quick to each other in between these like
Middle finger raised by Maru. There it is. There it is.
Dave!
Oh, I know this one. This one's Korean for haha. That's the laugh.
So what is
it's KK.
Byun saying? Like the
This is an this like emoji. It's like a TT kind of like firm brow, furrowed brow, I think.
Oh, so they're flirting.
Yeah. Korean alphabet is like, well, it's only like 22 letters. It's not too tricky to learn, but it's also phonetic. So even if you don't know words, you can still sound them out. which makes it infinitely easier to learn than some other languages. But Maru now on the counterattack. He's got the tank, he's got the Liberator. With this amount of support, you can get a lot done, but the SCV's coming off for Byun. This is like TvT. It's just what TvT is. Just two guys just brutally throwing haymakers at each other, just beating the crap. It's like a Wesker versus Chris Redfield fight. This game kind of feels like.
That's not balanced, though. Or in your mind, it is?
I mean, I think in the comic book universe, it has to be. It has to be balanced. Both sides have to be able to find a way to flip the table on the other. Otherwise, it's not worth having a fight at all, you know?
Whoever made this map had like a really aesthetically amazing ideas, because look at that. It's really pretty.
It is. This is
not enough dinosaurs.
I think this is the most popular map actually in the game right now. I think it's the best map in this pool.
Remember when there was that one map with like the disco?
Yeah, there was disco ball. Yeah. There was a disco ball map. Somehow Neon Violet Square maybe might have been that map.
Oh.
Yeah, that was originally, there were a couple that were actually named after K-pop groups or songs, but Blizzard was like, we don't really feel like fighting the K-pop army, so yeah. Disco Bloodbath. Yeah, there you go.
Was there ever a map? Okay, so this is just kind of like a historical thing. I remember when Rifkin or Base Trade would hold tournaments and stuff, and he would do like a crab dance before a map, and then he was just like,
oh yeah, that was Catalina. That was Catalina.
oh.
So back when they were braver, the people who made decisions, we had maps with 3 player spawns on them. So for like the last 2 years, we've only had 2-player maps. Every single map is 2 players, which means you always know where the other person spawns, and the map is always like a mirror, like straight down the middle, perfectly mirrors each side. So Catalina was really fun because it was 3 players. So people had a lot of reasons to not like 4-player maps, because if you didn't scout your opponent, you were kind of boned, like you wouldn't know where they were. But on Catalina, you could. So that map got very popular to watch in tournaments. Players players will always complain about the weird maps, but a lot of the most fun series in Heart of the Swarm actually took place with games on Catalina for that reason.
That makes a lot of sense. I as someone that was brand new to Starleague, I just saw that, and I saw like the boom 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 music, and then he would introduce something, and I'm like, what is that?
They had some dope memes. I know I think they had one for there was a map that was like a beach too. It straight up had a beach on it.
Well, yeah, that's how I got my name, Factory Chan. So I just
You're the OG Factory Chan.
I was.
Yeah.
I'm just like, how did that name get there?
So.
Oh, there's water?
Yeah. You can't make boats or anything though. This isn't Age of Empires.
Well, that's upsetting.
Yeah. Everybody's too cool to go. The water looks so clean and perfect, like you'd really think you could use it, but no. No, I think he just said, please leave. Byun said, okay. Just like, okay, yeah.
So what does that mean, like when they're talking so much in a game? Like they're...
Well, in like so once upon a time, people used to get like banned from tournaments if you talked in chat at all to say anything other than GG or pause. Like one time, to type pause in like the Korean leagues, you have to type PP. That's it. And one time, a guy typed PPP. He accidentally pressed the key a 3rd time before he pressed send. The admins penalized him a game, and I think they fined him.
What?
Yeah.
Why?
So like, cause I don't know. It's about control or something, I guess. It's like that goes beyond manners, in my opinion. Like, but they were really the culture around it was really strict, because once upon a time, the greatest StarCraft player has a pretty nice fight here. One of the greatest StarCraft players at the time, Boxer, I think it was Boxer that did this. He was dominating the tournaments, but he would actually just troll people in the chat in the game. Like, there was no rule about the chat because nobody had ever done anything, but he would just try and get inside his opponent's head and like tell them where his stuff was and when it was in like fake places. And a lot of people thought he was hilarious, but people, the the stiff suit wearing types were like, okay, well, there needs to be some sort of limitation. So they just banned all chat completely. Yeah.
That's crazy though.
Yeah. So for years and years and years, you could type GG or PP, and that's it. Nothing else.
Wow.
Yeah. The first time that they let non-Koreans play in Pro League, Stefano, the legend himself,
I've seen him before.
he was yes. So Ilias, he was infamous for in pro matches, he would say GL, comma, HF, and then the first name of whoever he was playing against. And he did that in his first Pro League match in Korea, and they paused it, and they took an hour with the admins to decide whether or not they were going to ban Stefano from playing in Pro League. Yeah. But it came down to the point where Blizzard basically had to be like, this is the most popular guy in the world who plays this game right now. Like he was absolutely number one for a little bit. And yeah. So Stefano did not end up. His opponent, I think it was actually Hero. I think it was CJ Hero, actually responded to him in chat as well. Because
this Hero?
Yeah, well, Hero, he's not in this tournament anymore. He just lost to Maru, or Byun, but yeah, our Hero.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
Sorry, that's what I meant.
I'm pretty sure he typed back to Stefano just so that both players would be penalized, because he's like, oh, well, it counts as a draw. So he actually refused to let his opponent be penalized, because that's how unbelievably based he is.
He's a Shinogum. He's a great guy.
Yeah, and then Stefano made 200 roaches in 7 minutes and killed him. It was awesome. Everybody cheered. It was huge. Big siege, by the way, for Byun. So these tanks, they show you the rings, the little range indicators here. Anything that steps in this box is super dead. So it's all about playing around the outside, and Byun just wants to slowly inch his way forward. These guys can shoot further than they can see, so it's mostly about maintaining the vision of where your opponent is.
That makes sense.
So that's why they're going to scan a lot. He's just trying to slowly inch up, because the Liberator is like a reverse siege tank. It doesn't do splash damage, but it sets that area on the ground. So you usually use Liberators to break the tanks. You try to get air control and just do that, but Byun's not going to retreat all the way. He's looking for a huge drop. Oh, he's going to dump everything inside of Maru's base. Doom drop in Maru's main. He's got the tank sieged on the production. So if he kills everything here, Maru literally cannot make anything. So all of his production is in this base, and the siege tanks have the potential to kill all the Marines if he runs through a choke. So Maru tries to do this a little bit slow. He waits for his tanks to spread out. He's trying to bring the Liberator in. He does get a good spread, but that choke point on the top side, a lot of these Marines and SCVs die. Meanwhile, Byun has another army. He somehow had 2 full armies at the same time. He's gonna siege outside the natural, and he said, okay, well, now your whole army is cut off. I think it's a little bit crazy to try and dive into this. I think you should go for the expansion.
Many units. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, he's just this is what Byun does. Byun is the guy that he doesn't do the flashy meme strategies. He just does the most bread and butter stuff, and he is unbelievably fast, and he doesn't miss any production cycles, so he always has crazy amounts of units, and he does those really big fast moves. These medevacs have no health. He's sending them out for a drop.
So what did the medevacs do?
So they're drop ships, but they also heal biological units.
Oh,
so
okay.
like Marines, SCVs, Hellbats for some reason. And yeah, so that drop's going to come up here. Well, he'll see the command center, so he should be able to pick that off. He kind of wants to go into the main and attack the production, but Maru's trying to slow the game down with the Liberators, because the tanks can't really do too much about them. It's sort of like a layered composition, and he does pop that command center, by the way. But the tanks use their range to keep the Marines away from the Liberators. But Byun is actually just going to run right up on this, and GG's called. Game 1 goes to Byun. So Byun up 1-0 in the finals now. Feeling good. Not too shabby. I mean, that's high-level TvT. I find that fun to watch, personally. Playing TvT is the most stressful thing ever. But I find those matches very fun to watch. We're getting into the lobby for game number 2. And yeah, it's a best of 5. So first player to 3 wins will be the champion for this week. That was a great game. Great game to start the series off. For sure. It's last series, babe. It's 11 p.m. over here in Washington. We got up early for work this morning. We've enjoyed coming here and doing some matches with y'all tonight. Hopefully you're having a great time. So we've got this last series, but pretty exciting so far, right?
It's been really fun. Thanks for being here, Al.
Yeah. Oh, the Kraken lost. Damn.
You gotta.
We got a game. We got the game. All right. Yeah, Washington. It's pretty great. Today was like the first day it hit the 70 degrees since winter started.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been pretty warm.
Game paused.
Byun.
Byun, he typed P 3 times, guys. We gotta break his legs. Straight to jail. Believe it or not. Type GL, comma HF. Believe it or not, also jail.
Maru says, please.
Go.
Game resumed.
Technical foul. That's right. We're gonna give the ball to Maru. All right, so we got Byun leading the series. We're on Babylon. This map, I think for TvT, is kind of crazy because you have this cliff right under your third base. Lots of people like to siege up under this and then kind of move their way over. So that can be a big attack point. And similarly, you can actually kind of siege the natural from underneath here too. So I'm going to guess that this early game entirely consists of, once again, these two just smack talking each other.
I don't know if they're smack talking or just like, how are you? How's your day going? Are you doing okay, Schnuggums?
Byun's like, I actually picked up a new pair of slacks the other day for
Are they comfortable?
for going out. And Maru was like, well, yeah, I mean, I got a new belt too. So
Belts are important. The length and the comfortability for that is also important. So, you know, it's good for them to figure this out now and catch up and, rewind before it's a competitive game.
Yeah, Maru's asking if they were expensive because he's kind of on a budget with the
right.
He doesn't really need pants, but
He wants comfort and quality.
yeah, he's willing to wait. He's willing to save up for it. He has to. So.
The best things are worth waiting for sure.
Yeah. So, Reaper, Factory, nothing out of the ordinary to kick this off. I mean, this is TvT in a nutshell. This map, you only have one area that Reapers can jump up. On most maps, they have added graphics to denote where you can go up. So you don't have to worry as much. You just have this. Actually, Kate, I want your thoughts on this, because this part of why I don't like this map. I don't feel like it's a bad map for me. But they got these cursed JPEGs of flowers that line your base, and it makes me. I actually like. I love flowers, but I don't like these.
Have you ever heard of I don't know, gosh, there's a famous...
Just who would plant their garden like this? Like what?
I mean, the fact that he planted his Costco center right next to the garden like that. The Garden of Eden is what I'm going to call this, is pretty strategical because you have to work a lot to get over there.
Is that the Hex Gate?
That's the Dimmadome. Have you ever heard of Doug? He's the owner of the Doug Style Dimmadome. That's the Doug Dimmadome.
Wow.
If you have ever heard of Bardino Casino, he is the owner in partnership.
You and Tasteless, I think, would create a great cast. I think that would be. I'd like to hear Katie cast with Tasteless one day.
He's an amazing human. I enjoy him a lot. But anyways, back to wait, what is that? The Weenie Hut General? What is that? What is that unit? Yeah.
It's a supply depot.
Okay.
I don't make these, so I don't really know much about them.
You only do the battle cruisers.
Yes.
Okay. So that's okay. I've learned a lot about you. You don't do the Costco guys. You just do the battle cruisers.
Yeah. I mean, I build one factory, maybe like two if I'm feeling kind of crazy, but you only need starports to make battle cruisers. In the beta for this game, they had a flying starport that could build stuff while it was in the air. It was awesome, and
What happened to it?
Well, people just made it, floated it to the corner of the map, and just built battle cruisers, and you couldn't really counter it. So
Oh no.
yeah, it was yeah. Turns out it didn't work in playtesting because yeah, it was an unkillable production structure that could troll you. So Maru's coming up with another quick attack. Byun is on the defensive this time around. That first map we had that big Reaper Hellion play, and Maru kind of beaten down with those big drops throughout the series. So Byun, after a good start, his natural is he's taking a lot of damage on that base. He might lose it. What? He's not repairing it. Okay. He finally
He's gotta go get groceries.
Look, he's
today.
threading the needle on that. That is irresponsible. Okay. He's like, let me just see how close I can drive to the edge of this cliff, and just no, I'm good. Okay.
He's moving his Costco to a better, you know.
He shut down the tank, so he hit him with the interference matrix. He pulled the batteries out. Oh, there's the auto turret though. He got it to start unsieging though, so if you get frozen while you're sieged, then you're just stuck there. It's just like a sitting duck. So the fact that he's able to get back into the spot is so annoying. It's one of those things where you see this tank, he can't actually see this unit, so he needs to get something forward, but that's why Maru has these units here. So he's going to bring everything down, brings the Marines, manages to clear that out, but meanwhile, Maru's just kind of been doing his thing. He's got his stuff all set up. He's got his extra barracks coming through. He's got his third base on the way, and Byun is only on 2 bases, so he's just going to start to fall behind economically if he doesn't break this contain and move forward soon. Gets a great siege up on the low ground, actually kills one of Byun's tanks, and this is just so annoying. You have these big cliffs on all of these maps. You just siege up right underneath them, and just he could try to elevator with the medevac and just lift everything up here, but he goes for the shutdown. His tank is going to kill that tank, and that should be the end of this. I think this phase of the game for Byun. I think he's earned himself a little respite. If Maru pushes it here, then he's kind of going full psychopath. He is going to push it here, by the way. So just absolutely nuts. He gets the disable on the tank, baits the auto turret, and is he going to kill this tank? Well, I mean, I really did. I don't know. That shouldn't happen. That's Maru's great. That's why I say he's like the Terran version of Hero and Dark. Yeah, because he will. There's no point where he says, oh, it's time to hit the brakes usually. So he will do stuff like that. It's like, well, I could kill this tank. I could lose everything, but I could also kill this tank, and then somehow he gets away and kills the tank. Nothing else died. That's what makes Maru so hard to play against. So he's got his third base set up. Byun, his is only halfway done, so he just doesn't really have much in the way of economy. He does have a pretty decent amount of units, but oh, Maru's even coming over. Oh, he snipes the Raven. Oh, the way he GG'd there. I mean, ooh. He broke him. But we're tied up now, 1-1. Yeah, rage quit. That's an oof. That low health tank was MVP. When the tank got away and then he sniped the Raven with an unupgraded Cyclone, that had to be like the mental just shattered.
Oh my god. That happens so quickly though. Does that happen in tournaments where they just...
Sometimes, yeah.
So, like, say they do that. How do they walk away from that?
There are some players who have had some pretty legendary walkaways.
I mean, I've seen that.
You've seen Drogo smash his desk, yeah. Nanny Wash straight up rage quit a whole tournament because Polt scouted his proxy once, literally walked out of the venue to booze. It was nuts. It was absolutely nuts. So there's been some drama. There's been some drama there. I'm going to ask. Oh no. It was definitely, I mean, so we could break it down a little bit. As far as early GGs are concerned, I think that he was way behind in economy because we talked about the command center, how far behind it was. And I think with only one Raven, I think Maru still had 2 or 3 of them. Like he didn't really have any opportunity to counterattack. So his only real choice was to play the game, try to play the same thing that Maru was doing, except while very far behind. So I'm going to chalk it up a little bit to the respect the players probably have for each other too, that he's like, in this position, maybe if everything goes right, I can claw it back. And then the Raven got sniped and he's like, nah, F this. He just taps out. Byun. On this map, none of them are going to do anything crazy. I think we'll get a standard Reaper expand. This map is very big. So if you're not proxy Reapering, you still have a very long way to go. So you just don't really have to worry as much. Like even if you want a proxy, the amount of time that it takes for the worker to get where you want to build the proxy is still a pretty long amount of time. So you'd end up having to build it like over here or something, and you really wouldn't want to do that anyway. So you just go into the factory. With the amount that these guys are kind of talking smack and memeing, I can only assume that it's in good fun and in jest. So I don't think they're gonna do that to each other until it's match point. Now whoever wins this game, since it's 1-1, whoever wins this game will be on match point. So maybe we see a little bit of cheddar come out. But I think time zone wise, this started 8 p.m. for us, which is apparently noon Korea time. So if it's 11 for us, then that means I'm going to scroll to the edge of the screen. That means it's 3 p.m. It's 3 p.m. in Seoul, right?
11. It's 11:11. Make wish.
Oh, thank you. So, yeah, it's like the middle of the day over there. It's like chill Saturday. Maru woke up, he watched his cartoons, caught the new episode of Ed and Eddie. He had his corn pops with chocolate milk, and then he then he played in this tournament, and here he is. So there you go. Just chill Saturday afternoon. It's beautiful. Starport's coming in. Very standard openings on both sides. A couple Reapers, a couple Hellions. We've seen that Maru has been leaning a little more towards having the Marines earlier. He has not been pushing as much on the Reaper side of things, the Reaper Hellion side. He likes getting out that tank and moving towards that mid game a little more.
Corn pops and chalky milk. IGW.
I haven't had corn pops in forever, but got a lot of fond memories. Dragon Ball Z was always on at 6 o'clock in Pennsylvania, and that was right when Dad would have dinner, and I'd always have to be like, well, you got to come eat and then watch your show. And I'm like, there's literally no technology that exists yet to watch a TV show that you missed, Dad, because it's 1999. And he's like, you know what? You can eat your dinner upstairs. I was like, yeah, 5 years old watching Dragon Ball. Life's good. So Byun's going for his third base on location. Maru is building it inside of his main base. Yeah, because Toonami came on at 6. The big kids.
You would have to spend money for the VCR recorders. That's not something a lot of people had.
No, we were super broke.
Yeah,
That was not
Nate
an
and I
option.
were both.
That was absolutely not an option.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember when I first got my memory save for my N64, but I had to rent it, and so it's just like, yeah, you can.
I
save
never
it.
had a memory card for my N64. I had to start a new game every time I wanted to play Turok.
I would rent it, but then there was no point to it because I would have to return it to the Blockbuster.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, look at them go.
But Byun plays for map control with the Reaper Hellion, because he's basically saying that if Maru leaves his base, he's going to kill whatever is out there. So he tries to bait him with the Reaper, and he does get the Reaper, but he's also kind of like, do you want to come into the natural? If the Cyclone lives and kills everything, then it becomes horrible for Byun, because since he's out on the map and Maru has to stay home, Byun feels comfortable building his third where it needs to be, because the strength of Terran, one of the best things about Terran, is that your buildings can float. So Protoss can't do that, Zerg can't do that. If you can just fly this, you can build it safely inside your base and then move it out. So he didn't feel like he needed to do that because he has map control. So he comes forward. The third is coming out for Maru, but he can kind of see that everything is still here. Maru's playing with his cards pretty close to the chest, so he does not have to worry about too much. Not too much yet, anyway. It's gonna be another pretty straightforward game. I'm not expecting anything super crazy to happen until all of these upgrades are done. Excuse me. Until all of these upgrades are done.
It's in my face.
I'm sorry.
Are you kidding me?
I'm not used to. Look, I haven't had my co-caster physically next to me in like 3 years.
Are you
I'm
joshing
sorry.
me?
It's been. It just happens.
Oh, mate.
You know, you cast enough games StarCraft and you'll discover how fast you can go from not being prepared to burping. Okay. I'm sorry.
It's fine. It's fine.
It was not fine. So when these upgrades are done, then we have, once we've got Stim and Medivacs and like 1-1 in combat shields and 2-2 begins. That's usually when TvT starts. There's like this volatile early game, and then once it's over, like it's like a hibernation. Both players want to get fully set up with their infrastructure before they get out on the map, because it is so risky to do it.
It is risky. It is very risky, especially in moves like burping in front of your significant other right when things matter most, right?
Yeah.
There's no
you know,
repercussions that can happen for that.
Like anything else that happened.
No.
Like anything else that goes wrong on the show, you know. We gotta, the show must go on, right?
You slave over a hot dinner, and all you get in repayment is just the bird.
And Maru just runs into the natural and
like,
snipes
how did I get here? I was a fucking
oh
Disney
no, both
princess.
1-1.
Anyways,
Wow,
GG Maru.
2-1. Wow, Maru up 2-1 in this series. Doing fantastic. Come here. I gotta call my tech guy. Yo. I don't have a name. What's the name of my tech guy? Nathan. I'm the tech guy, right? Yeah. Yeah. All right, we're going into the lobby for game number 4. So if Maru wins this game, then he wins the whole thing. If he loses, then we have one last game. That's the way the news goes. All right, we're counting down into the game, guys. It's going to be Dragon Scales. Thanks.
Thank you for the compliments. You're too sweet.
All right, so opportunity here. Opportunity is on the table, or it's knocking. Really, whichever analogy or allegory you prefer, just kind of go with it.
In the top right corner, it is. Wait, is that the top right? The bottom right corner. It's gonna be Byun. And in the top left corner, you got that Maru.
Thank you. Fantastic introductions, as always. This map is, I think, the smallest one, or one of the smallest maps, rush distance-wise. It's got a very low number of bases compared to the other maps in the pool, so games end up being a little bit shorter. You have a lot of open spaces. Byun thinks he's getting cheesed. He sends out an SCV to scout for proxy barracks very early on. And oh, he's actually proxying himself. So he builds his first barracks in his main base so that if Maru scouts him with a worker, he won't see anything sus. But it was lie.
It was light.
Now, if the SCV saw that, that would be kind of wild, but he kind of builds it. Like, you generally know when you click which path your unit is going to take to get there. So Byun was just like, well, if I put this here, he won't see it, but it'll be very close to his base. And this worker is not going to see anything suspicious.
He's busy.
Yeah. He is building his own base. So when he goes in here and he sees this, it's like, okay, well, 2 gas means if there's no factory here, then he's probably proxied the factory. Unless he clicked the amount of gas. But it is a second proxied barracks for Reapers, which he might also anticipate that that's what it is, because Byun is known for using Reapers very aggressively. And he's building his depot out on the map because he's a free man who can do whatever he wants. But I didn't see that coming.
Oh!
It's not like a huge amount of Reapers to have. Like, Maru can defend this, but it's just kind of an awkward build because he wanted to expand and do all of this, and now he's been forced to build this inside of his main.
I just want to point out, they stopped talking to each other. They were talking to each other before every game, and now they've stopped.
Do you think there's trouble in paradise?
I think there might be a little bit of tension.
No tension?
Or maybe they're just like really focused. I just wanted to point that out. They were talking to each other before
It
this.
got real. It got real when Maru 360 no scoped
Look
his
at
natural.
that bug guy! Look at those big eyes!
This?
Oh,
The rocks?
Yeah, do you see it? Oh, those
There's
aren't
2
eyes.
of them kind of floating over the cliff, huh?
Yeah.
We got Reapers in the main base, though. Looks like he's got 1 SCV now, 2. So comes in, grabs a few worker kills. He's going to dip out. And this is the frustrating part, because you have a lot of angles these guys can come up. They can go up this cliff. I don't think they can go here, but they can also go here. So it's like you got to be going between 2 pretty far spots in your own base. This is I find the most stressful part about it, because you just have this huge area that you got to constantly be aware of.
Minor, I can relate to that. I when we play League of Legends with friends and do the ARMs and they question mark ping me, I'm just like, no, don't do that.
When I get question mark pinged, so you've chosen death.
So I'm just gonna get upset with you just a little bit and say I'm disappointed in you.
I think Maru might be dead here.
Really?
Byun got it. He kind of chilled. He whittled down his units. Maru sent his Reaper across the map, but it didn't really do too much. He's got the Cyclone coming in. The Cyclone is like the savior unit in this scenario. If he kills it, then he's dead. But it looks like he is gonna barely hold on. But he lost a lot. He lost so much. Now the other side of the coin, he delayed this base from being built. So Maru can build 2 workers at a time right now, and he has 2 chainsaw boys, like you were talking about.
Look at the
super
chainsaw
guys.
boys.
Now they're a little bit less powerful because in this game, both players can make them, except Byun doesn't have as many since he only has 1 base that is actually finished.
It's definitely a skill issue, huh?
Yeah, 100%, 100%. So he's in a spot where he lost a lot, but he can rebuild it a little bit faster. Byun won't be able to build workers out of this base for like another 40 seconds, so because he's got to turn it into an orbital and drop his chainsaw boy. So Maru,
Costco's moving.
yeah, he's gonna relocate. He's expanding to new territory. He's opened a second franchise. The barracks gives vision though, so the Cyclone with the range. Oh, the tank snipe, brutal. Oh, Maru with the reverse scan, and he's gonna get the Cyclone, but that tank. Crazy. Byun uses the proxy barracks for vision because the Cyclone, actually, when it locks on, it can only see like half the range of its attack.
Oh.
But yeah, Maru actually slips a Banshee across the map. Now here's the problem: he doesn't actually have any cloak researched, so the Cyclone just kills Banshees pretty easily. So he says, all right, I'm gonna kill 6 SCVs, let the Banshee die, and now the worker count is even. So Maru has, for most part, just bought himself back into the game with that 1 move. So his command center was done earlier, so he was already in like a fast recovery spot. So even though he took a lot of damage, the worker count is kind of close. I think the real struggle here becomes, can he defend Byun's next attack? Because obviously Byun killing that tank really takes a lot of the defensive potential away from Maru, because he's trying to cover his natural, but that means there's a huge distance to be made up on this side. So this tank's going to try and get in range. We look at this circle. This like the sweet spot. So he wants to zone the Marines away to protect his production. and then maybe go for the disable on the tank. But yeah, it doesn't look like he's going to need to do that. Oh, the Raven! He almost got the Raven. This is TvT. This right here. When I have to play this situation, when I get into this mess,
Oh no,
this is like the most frustrating thing of all time. Like this right here is the most stressful video game experience mankind's ever created. All right, I played all 3 Dark Souls just because I thought I'd feel something, but it's nowhere near as bad as this.
Ethan Lawrence.
I'm just saying, I actually had fun with that. But when you've got tanks on you, he's got to relocate everything. He can't even mine in his own base. It's his base. Oh, Maru's going for the Raven counterattack. These guys are technically like drones. They don't have I don't think there's anybody actually in them.
So it's not like your cattle bruiser.
No. So when Ravens die, I'm pretty sure it's just machines getting blown up. When a battle cruiser dies, at least 3,000 people on that thing are crashing with it.
So when you send like, I don't know, 5 of those out, do you feel anything?
I feel a rush. I feel the torque of teleporting across the map instantly. There it is, GG. So Byun comes in with the follow-up push on the natural and knocks Maru out. I think we can see we're going to game 5, but I think we can see that this seems like the gloves have come off after that. After he just dived his whole army in there after smack talking him, killed him instantly, and then we went into that 4th game, and Maru and Byun were both like, no more talking, no time for love. It was tragic. Crazy series here. Absolutely wild. We have one last game, guys. This is it. It's game 5, grand finals, Maru versus Byun. Full on serious mode. No more flirting. That's right. Absolutely. No more playtime. They're asking for a minute. Whew. God tier Byun. Yeah, his wrists are going to explode again. He's got to be careful.
Did you see? You literally caught a fruit fly and then you smashed it and threw it. And it's on the freaking hairs. It's on the can. Yeah. You caught a fly and smashed it and threw it onto the, what?
I don't know. I didn't realize that happened. I'm sorry. Just like a reflex thing. I guess we're going to take a minute to start the game, but we are in the lobby. We will get into this one as soon as possible. I'm going to turn the window fan off is what I'm going to do. All right, well, we'll let you guys know when the last game is starting, but I think the players just need like a minute to get ready. Oh, it's actually starting now, so we're good.
You literally caught it and then threw it and it landed and bounced off that air can. How did you do that?
I don't know.
You literally
I don't know how I did that. I don't believe mules are man-operated vehicles, chainsaw boys, not automated donkeys. I mean, it's really whatever you want it to be, right? They say that the world is shaped by our cognition. So if you want to tell yourself that mules are chainsaw boys, mules can be chainsaw boys. And I don't really think anybody can stop you. All right, so here we are. It's all led to this. Week 8 of the Korean Starleague. We are in game 5 of the grand finals. 2 of the absolute best to ever play the game throwing down in what has culminated to a phenomenal best of 5. In the bottom left, we have the blue Terran player. He's been bringing the aggression. He was hit hard early in this series, and he has brought it back to the equilibrium. He is Byun. He faces off against the red Terran player, a true monster in his own right, who has been almost trying to toy with his equally skilled opponent. He is Maru. This mule will explode after two. Exactly. You get it. That used to be like the coolest thing. They don't do that in spy movies anymore. Like, I almost wish that in the new Fast and Furious, they just give Vin Diesel a pair of glasses that like tells him what his mission is, and it's like, these glasses will self-destruct in 10, 9. Because like they did that in all the Bond movies and Mission Impossible, I think too, right? Yeah. People getting their information in self-destructing dead drops. It's pretty dope. In the future, it'll be biometric scanning little guys that just fry themselves after you activate it. 10 seconds to read the message. Only your thumbprint can unlock it. Spy movies, man, they don't really do those anymore, huh? I think Kingsman's the closest we got. Kingsman was pretty good though.
So Nathan didn't tell me anything about the Fast and the Furious movies. He said it's an action movie, and so the first one I saw was the one where was it Ludacris and somebody else goes to space in a car, and I'm just like, wait, this is an actual like action thriller movie? So I'm just like, Miter, what the heck is going on?
Yeah, they do go to space.
Family.
Family movie, guys.
Yeah, no, I had no idea what to expect, and then I saw that, I'm like, okay.
StarCraft could be real. All you have to do is be willing to believe that it's far enough away in the future that we can't possibly comprehend how we get to this point, but, you know.
There's a YouTube video out there where there's just a bunch of Vin Diesel impersonators, and they all say family in unison, and I just want to encourage you all to view that because it's quite the experience.
Yeah, I think the first two movies were where they tried to be a little serious, and then they realized that people just wanted them to up the ante every time. So Maru comes over, quick little poke with Reapers and just one Hellion, but that's not going to be enough to really do anything. He wants to go back across the map with his own medevac, but it seems they've both done almost the same build as well. So, yeah. You want to play SC2 in a VR headset from the POV of a unit selected? Well, if you're one of Maru's units, I think everyone's gonna get motion sickness real bad. I don't know, man. They'd have to ban like people playing more than 10 APM, I think. You imagine some guy just clicking you around a bunch in rapid fire and just making you spin. I just want to be the SCV that gets called to fight the probe 1v1. That's all I want. Just want to see. I want to see what that cold, lifeless monster looks like up close. Widowmine in the middle gets a hit on the Reaper, but pretty similar styles this game with the openings. Kind of seeing that medevac into the Cyclone from Byun. Maru throughout this series, as we've seen several times, he does love leaning on that tank about as fast as he can get it out instead of that mine. But for Byun, it would be kind of difficult to push into a position that has the tanks. And he's got the Cyclone, he has the Raven. I think he's fine to defend anything on two bases. Neither player has started third yet. I think we're about to see Byun get his. He's got the money. He could go into Vikings, but I'm expecting it. Yeah, there's the third base. Maru has not yet started a third, so I think we're going to see a really big push. He's getting two Liberators. Two Liberators this early on is basically saying, if you have tanks, I'm going to remove them from the equation, and I'm going to force the end of this game. So Maru elevators the siege tanks over. He brings them up behind the Marines. His Raven's going to come forward. Now, this is a very, 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 very important move. This is one of those scenarios where he could win the game if he does this right, because the tanks are exposed. He has his own tanks to cover where these liberators are going to siege from. So Byun needs to unsiege and move back quickly. He does react in time, but the tanks are going to slowly inch forward, and that's what they do. So the only thing that can really kill the liberators in this place are the Marines. Now, Vikings coming out does change that dynamic, but if he's allowed to get the tanks close enough to protect the liberators from ground units and they siege on those tanks and kill them, and then he just dies. Then he just moves the siege line forward and just swallows. But it's a
spin.
Yeah, he's spinning. Byun is spinning.
Spin.
Yeah, so he's just like, okay, well, you have air superiority. I don't want to try and attack into this. So Maru, he can see that he's being scanned too. That big blue light thing appears for everybody. So Byun's like, well, I want to move out, but Maru still kind of has me contained because now it's a choke point. So he's waiting to see when he's going to retreat. There's the next scan. And Maru's just like, okay, well, I'll just keep buying time. The hard part about this is that Byun actually made that base right in his main. But while he's coming out here to chase, Maru built his third on location, so he actually cannot retreat all the way, or he might lose that base very easily since he's still making it. Taking that fight in the middle of the map buys him a lot of time. He loses a good amount of his units, but he will finish the third base now, so he doesn't have to worry about that or getting dropped. Meanwhile, Byun's got engineering base. We don't see the upgrades just yet. Maru is about to start his engineering base, but not too much else otherwise.
Thank you for subbing with Prime. We appreciate you. Marounder.
Marauder. Rawr.
Rawr.
That's what people who are like so random say, right? You say rar. I used to say rar.
We would not talk in high school.
No, I was
Who's A-Rod?
A-Rod. I think he's talking about Aaron Rodgers. We want to talk NFL in the middle of our grand final.
We have a quarterback. Yay!
We got a quarterback. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Haven't had a quarterback since I was 16. I'm 30 now. Hell yeah. Maru's coming back. Siege tank, move up to electric boogaloo. So he's thinking, oh, if I'm outside your range, I'll be fine. He's got a lot of tanks. So what he wants to do is spread them. He's landing the Vikings. Look at this attack. This is some psychopath maneuvering for Maru. He goes for a pretty crazy push in with the Vikings, and he grossly underestimates how much Byun has. I'm kind of shocked. I'm kind of stunned that he walked into that one.
Hi, Valeris.
Yeah, Byun just backhanded him. But the craziest thing is that even with that, he still actually has more economy. He's got more workers on his third. Maru's been grinding out those SCVs, so he's going for the fourth now. I don't know that he's going to defend the counterattack because Byun has a lot of stuff, and Byun's upgrades are about to finish. So we can see here in 10 seconds, he's going to have that lead. Maru's are still about 30 seconds away. So all of Byun's units are way better. Way better. Minor. Oh, we got two liberators coming around the outside on that natural. There's actually no turrets here, so he could siege up the liberators onto the natural. He could siege one of the main, one of the natural. Okay, the Vikings are popping out in time, so I think Byun will be fine here. Well, Byun gets to return the favor. Now he's the one diving into the natural. He's completely choked Maru off from the third base to the natural. Just this base, right? Everything has to move here on the ground, and he can't get over there, so he is stuck. 9 SCVs dead. Byun has 64 SCVs at home. Maru has 69. He's going to bring them all over to break the siege. Maru, it looks like he's actually going to break the contain. His upgrade's finished. So he actually still has more workers. Maru still has the SCV lead. And he just lost 19 of them. So if you needed a better endorsement of this man's scrappiness, that X factor, then I think you're getting a taste of what that is here. The supply does not lie, though. Byun is going in for round 2. He's got another big attack. Tanks are sieging. Marines are spreading out and diving forward. GG is called. Maru taps out. And Byun wins this week's Korean Star League 3-2 over Maru.